Welcome to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Charissa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It's our pleasure, our honor to facilitate this event. We now do it every third Tuesday of the month. I think it's a better time for everybody. It's free, it's open to the public. We offer up coffee in Danish. And we have, of course, our sponsor. We feature them every single month. And over the years we've partnered on this show, we have brought a lot of good information to our community. For all of you out there, Mid-Florida really brings a lot to the table. So please welcome Malin Joseph from Mid-Florida Credit Union.
Good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to say Event Center, as I often do, because I'm so used to saying Event Center now. It took a while. But of course, you guys have the naming rights and have partnered with the city on our former Civic Center, big building on US 1.
And so much going on there.
Yeah, well, you know, the mayor and I have talked about it previously. It was in receivership. They're getting it out, and we're, you know, going to do a master plan and really build that area up and have some great events out there.
Yeah, and it's going to add to the beautification of Port St. Lucie.
For sure.
Knowing that you have a center that you can do concerts and things there.
Well, they've done concerts.
Yes.
They've been doing concerts. Little River Band was just there.
Yes, I saw them, yeah.
You did get to see them?
I got to see them. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And I find myself now correcting people to make sure they say Mid-Florida Event Center.
I have,
because we're so used to saying
the Civic Center, and it took me a while, but now when I try to say Credit Union, I say Event Center. So it's, you know, I can't win for losing. I'm going to get something wrong.
Hey, we know your heart is in the right place.
I'm trying, but yeah, I'm never going to get it all right. And I don't write anything down, as you know. I am just winging it.
Yes.
Yeah. It works best for me.
Yeah.
Mid-Florida Credit Union's doing great. You just got a new employee, an old friend of the Chambers.
Yes.
And he came to watch the show today.
Yes, he's here today in the audience.
Yeah, Louis. Yeah. Louis, I'm going to say Louis's last name. I've known him for 10 years, but I never say it right either. That's another one. Androvic.
Yes.
I said it right. Oh, wow, look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, so he was, he's been in the community a long time.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And Charrettes is a big advocate for that. She's like, you know, Louis, you've seen him somewhere. I'm like, okay, Charrettes. So he's very well known in the community, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We need that. You know, as a credit union, our sole purpose is to reach the community and get embedded in that. So having someone with that quality is perfect. So.
And here it's always about who you know and working with the community. We have a lot of our accounts now with you guys because you're out in the community, you're supporting others, so we want to support you.
Yes.
So I've pushed my family into it as well.
Bring them on.
Yes,
Bring them
on. We want to support those that support us.
Of course.
And so definitely Mid-Florida is one of those.
Oh yeah. And there's quite a bit going on. I mean, check us out on our website. Always try to provide the lowest rates when it comes to auto loans, you know, refinances, because oftentimes you go to the dealership, you get a rate, but you can always check out a credit union and see what we can do better for you there. And we do first-time car buyers. So if you're a parent who's trying to get your little one up and running, come to Mid-Florida.
And you can get all of that. And I highly suggest you get your car loan, a range and the payment range from the credit union before you go to the dealership.
Yes, because you don't want that shocker. You don't want that $800 payment, and you've already invested so much time, so you are going to walk out with that car.
Yeah.
But if you come to the credit union, you come to Mid-Florida, a banker can help you set that out,
and give them the range, and they'll tell you what you can buy, because oftentimes at the car dealership, they're asking you, what do you want to pay? And, you shouldn't be working backwards.
No. Start from the front.
Yes. Very good.
Yes.
You just had your Haitian Chamber of Commerce gala a couple weeks ago.
Yes, a couple weeks ago. Very exciting. Still floating.
Good.
So I was sweating bullets, but
Well, I know you're working very hard.
You're a hard worker, so I'm like, if she can do it, we can do this.
Well, I have to do it full time. I don't have another job.
On top of that.
Yeah, you guys are all volunteers.
Volunteers, yeah.
So both of you are that are kind of heading this up or have full-time jobs, both in finance.
Both of us in finance. Marie's more on the federal side.
Yeah.
I'm more on the retail banking side.
SBA,
SBA,
which is a great knowledge base to have. But yeah, so I know how hard it is, but I heard it was absolutely wonderful.
It was gorgeous.
And we appreciate our partnerships with other niche chambers, and we think it's great. Bring them in. Let's work together.
Of course. And to reach out to everyone,
Yeah, for sure.
Reach out to
Everybody needs to feel comfortable.
Yes.
And so we appreciate that very much.
Yes.
Good.
It was a good time. Still talking about it.
Good. And Joel was your MC?
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Joel, so that's good.
Joel was hilarious.
He's
was
a good
hilarious.
guy. He's a funny guy. Yeah. And he's Haitian.
Yes.
So
yes.
that was perfect.
That was, yes. When he said yes, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
We
that
can
was
do
good.
this.
That was good. All right.
Yeah. So
All right. Well, Mid-Florida, I know the website. It's Mid-Florida.
yes, midfloridacreditunion.com.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
And you can sign up to
You can
be a
sign
member.
up to be a member online. We have 3 locations here in Port St. Lucie. So Gatlin, St. Lucie West, and then your US 1 branch, which is the one I manage. And then we go as far as Stewart. So
Yeah.
if you're, whichever corner you're in, we're there to cover you.
All right, very good. Well, thanks for being with us.
Yes.
Congratulations on the gala. Well done.
Thank you, thank
and for acquiring Lewis
Yes.
into the fold.
We have a new gym, so
Okay, there you go. All right, we appreciate your support.
yes, we
as
appreciate
always.
the chamber too. Thank you.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with the mayor of this beautiful city. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Trissa Aronson, and I'm here with none other than the mayor of this beautiful city, Shannon Martin.
Good morning.
Good morning. Always nice to see you. I enjoy this time every month. I know our schedules are crammed, chock full of nuts, so this is about what we get.
Absolutely.
Monthly, although we do talk sometimes.
Yes.
There's a lot going on in the city.
A lot going on. Absolutely.
Yep. Facebook is all the, chatter, which I completely ignore. As I told you, I don't engage on Facebook. It's just too hard. But there are some things that you do want to talk about here and let people know about what's going on. So I see you brought your notes.
Yep. As everyone knows, we're moving forward with the master plan for a city center.
Yeah.
We're starting up our stakeholder meetings very soon. So that's really exciting to engage the public and get everyone involved in what the future of city center is going to be. And I know there's a lot of people in the business community that are very interested, as well as our residents. So I'm really looking forward to that process.
Yeah, that's so we're not allowed to say, I don't think we're allowed to call them charrettes anymore, but I'm old school, I call them charrettes, where they just do studies and they get stakeholders in and residents and business, and they talk about what they want it to look like. And in my years, it's very similar. It's always, whatever the rage of retail is and mixed-use housing and entertainment, which sounds great, but then we have to support it if we do build it. So that's the thing. They always say, I'd like an entertainment center. Give me a theater, give me a club and a Trader Joe's, but then you better get out there and use those things.
Yeah, and so it's important for everyone to know that although we facilitate that development, obviously, we don't make them come here. They choose to come here. They choose, these developers or investor groups choose to build those types of facilities. We want them to.
Yeah.
And so also with that is we have an economist that will be looking at the planning as well and going through those numbers and trying to figure out what really will fit there. And that also helps anyone who wants to come in realize whether they can make it work or not from a business or financial standpoint as well.
Yeah, because it's going to be privately owned, right? So the city will get it out of receivership and then sell it off, and it'll be privately owned. And those people can bring in whatever that area is zoned for.
Right.
And so when we're asking for people to help us with a master plan, it's to get an idea of what sort of zoning and infrastructure might be needed. It's not to say, oh, we're going to have a Trader Joe's, because that's certainly not up to us. That's up to Trader Joe's.
Correct. Yeah.
And so people need to understand that. This is so that we can appropriate the zoning and the infrastructure so that we can attract people to come and develop there. Because, yeah, cities don't own retail and entertainment outlets. Sometimes they invest in theaters, but that's it.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So they should know that.
Yes.
And we'll see what we get, right?
Absolutely.
I think I'm very hopeful, and I think there's a lot of land there.
There is, and the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council is doing it with us. They did Southern Grove's master plan, and look
Yep.
how successful that has been.
Did I hear there's like nothing left basically in Southern Groves?
So-
Legacy Park, anyway.
Right, the city only has 250 acres left of the 1,200 acres, so the economic development is booming, it's still booming, so it's a good segue into that. We have, Cheney's, the walls are going up.
Yep.
Excel, the walls are going up. We're just rocking and rolling with economic development. We have some other projects in the pipeline. Can't
Good.
talk about what they are yet, but we have a couple. We have a Project Green, Project Apron, and so those are being actively worked on right now. So it's going well.
So let's explain that to everybody at home too, because you're a city and so you're under something called the Sunshine Law, but yet you don't have to disclose what those projects are because they're working with your private sector partner,
Yes.
the Economic Development Council.
Correct.
So they're not actually corresponding with you in order to facilitate this deal, which is why I truly believe most cities do have an economic development council of some sort or a business development council, whatever they want to call it.
Yes.
But you need a private-public partnership so that you can kind of bring in people confidentially who are not ready to announce that they may be moving their company and all their employees to some other city.
Absolutely.
Before it's a done deal because they're just going to scare people.
Yes.
Yeah, so good. Because I don't think we talk about that, the economic development, main goal and purpose here in the community.
Right.
Good.
So the other thing we're working on, and actually I brought a video today, which I want to play a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Because we have so many road projects going on in the city. So I got together with communications and we wanted to explain to everybody all the different projects that are happening because we got a lot of questions of what's happening, when's it going to be done, what are the benefits, are they going to put in turn lanes, is there going to be a roundabout here, what does this look like?
I'm sure.
So we put one together so that, and we've been putting it out there so everyone can understand and know what's happening in the
I
community.
don't think I've seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, but so I wanted to talk, before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about our mobility fee plan.
Yep.
So the council talked about, recently we had phase 2 of our mobility plan presented to us. And what we asked staff to do was to go, we have all the projects that are happening with Floresta and Port St. Lucie Boulevard South. So then we said, okay, what does it look like going forward? We want to make sure that we're using the money wisely. We want to make sure that we're addressing infrastructure needs in the community. So what roads now do we have to plan for in the future to tackle next? So we were presented kind of like a preliminary overview from our Public Works Department and staff. And so we're going to be looking at Torino. We're going to be looking at St. Lucie West Boulevard, South Bend, California, Savona, Kashmir is a big one. We just talked about some improvements to address turn lane issues and accident issues on Kashmir just yesterday at our special council meeting. Selvit, Becker Road. Also, what can we do on potentially Rosser? Where do we have four-way intersections that are either stops, four-way stops, or signalized? Should they really be roundabouts? Because the goal is to keep traffic moving as opposed to that stop-start. And especially in the western side of the city where we have so much of the infill going on and the traffic backing up in certain areas, we really do want to keep that traffic flow going. So we're looking at those opportunities as well because the mobility fee money
Can be used for that.
can be used for that. It's much more
Yeah.
flexible. So
So the good stuff that I'm hearing is we're still addressing some traffic patterns as reference to cars. Because a lot of people think mobility fees, and some people will say, oh, they're going to build you a golf cart lane. And I'm like, that's not necessarily what mobility fees are for. But before, you could only use the fees for capacity, which was more lanes.
Right.
But now we can use them to improve the way traffic moves.
Right.
And that's what I'm most looking forward to. I do like a roundabout because it does keep traffic moving. And there's too much hesitation at stop signs, although there's a lot at roundabouts too. I literally saw a police officer stop in the middle of a roundabout the other day, but I won't say from which jurisdiction, but it was very frightening for me to have to
actually
witness.
stopped.
Yeah, and let somebody in.
Oh, wow, okay, well.
Yeah. So, PSA, don't do that.
You're not supposed to stop at the
But, I'm not going to stop him and tell him, that he was a police officer. But, yeah, you're not supposed to ever stop in the middle of a roundabout, right?
No, you're supposed
It's the
to
whole
go.
purpose of it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
but we'll see how it goes. And I think that as we do more and more education, I love the idea of having videos that are played on social media to educate people on how to use all these traffic patterns and all that kind of good stuff. So I like that.
Yeah. And then on the 31st of May, we're going to be having our first visioning, rebranding meeting. We talked about at the strategic planning how it's time to kind of set a new tone and a new vision for the city as we move forward. And we haven't done that in a very long time. So we just want to make sure that we're on the right track, moving the city forward. So we're going to be having those conversations that day and see what comes out of that. And then, of course, there'll be a public engagement component to that as well. We want to make sure our citizens are 100% involved in, what they want to see in the future for the city. Very important to do that. And so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Good.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff. I'm looking forward to, we're expanding on our business assistance program that we have at the city. We are inundated. I mean, it is a lot all day, every day, but we're happy about that because Councilwoman Morgan had mentioned at a previous meeting that she was seeing less and less people really get themselves into a bind. I did hear of one recently, but she didn't contact us, and it's unfortunate because we know people that she knows. So I got to keep hammering home. If you are looking to rent space, buy space, or purchase space, or open your business for the very first time, change it from an at-home to a retail, or just even start your at-home business, please call us first. Because that person didn't fill out her business tax license correctly, and I've told people before there is a right way and a wrong way to do it, and that's what we're here to help you with. But until I never hear of a story again about people, running into issues, we will stay at it. But we've done commercials and some Facebook ads, and we're just inundated, which is a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, and it's a really important program to have because of those people that don't know and they don't understand what they're in for, and they get themselves into that bind. So
yeah, they sign leases on spaces that won't work for their business, and they're stuck there.
Right.
And this person actually started renovating that space, and it was like, whoops.
Yeah.
So
you don't know what you're doing.
yeah, we're working to get some office hours here at the city, so when they come in, they don't have, there's no lag in the response time from us. We try very hard not to have a lag, because when you call for help, you really want that help. And we don't want them to, I called them, but I couldn't get a hold of them, so I went and signed the lease anyway.
Right.
So we're gonna work on getting some office time here so they can literally just immediately come over.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah, we're excited about that. All right.
Another thing we're working on, as I mentioned before, we have 3 parks that will be starting construction this year. Tradition Regional Park, we're gonna have a lot more ball fields, multi-purpose fields. We'll have 4 softball fields, 4 baseball fields. That'll be phase 1 going forward. Riverland Paseo, Tradition Regional, we're in partnership with Mattamy on that. We're paying for it with the bond and ARPA funds, and Mattamy's also paying for a portion of it.
Good.
The Riverland Paseo, that's the partnership with Riverland, with GL Homes. And that'll be a dog park, a softball field, and 2 soccer fields.
Nice.
So for everyone who's been wondering when we're gonna get those more soccer fields and more ball fields, they're coming. So we're really looking forward to that. And of course, our Pioneer Park at the port, that will be happening again this year, starting construction. So a lot of different things happening.
Good. And the Historical Museum hopefully opening up
Yes.
down at Pioneer Park.
Yes. I have to find out about where we are with the renovations on that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it's, out to the fall, maybe. Winter, but yeah.
But
It's hard
it's
to,
happening.
it's an old home. It's very difficult to get that renovated.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, and you have to have people with special skills to do that type of work. So.
Yeah, because it's historic. Yeah.
But what's great about it is all these things are starting to really happen at one time, and so hopefully they'll be all finished at close to the same time.
And
That's
do
the
a lot
goal.
of celebrating, just in
Yeah.
time for season next year. Because we're rolling out of season finally.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Do you want to show us this?
Yeah, let's take a look at the video.
I'm excited. Like I said, I haven't seen this yet, so I am kind of excited about it.
Hello residents and neighbors, I'm your mayor, Shannon Martin. It's no secret that our city is growing, and I'm sure you have noticed the increasing number of vehicles on our roadways. And at one point, you may have probably experienced frustration with additional traffic. Florida has become the #1 state in the nation that people are moving to, and as a result, our population is continuing to grow as more people discover the many great things that our city has to offer. We have started several road projects throughout the city that have been planned for a long time and are especially needed. This work is necessary to manage the growth we're seeing now and that we will see in the future. As with any roadway construction, it's tough to deal with while it's happening. Our expectation and goal is that although we have and will experience some inconvenience and frustration during the construction process, these improvements will make all of our lives easier in the long run. Because there are several things happening at one time, I wanted to take some time to give you a quick status update on some of the projects. First, 2 of our biggest projects are well underway, with major improvements being made to both Floresta Drive and Port St. Lucie Boulevard South. The first phase of improvements to Floresta Drive is nearing completion. The road will have enhanced landscaping, lighting, sidewalks, and bicycle lanes all the way from South Bend Boulevard to the Elkham Waterway Bridge. The work also expanded the intersection at PSL Boulevard, and it added new stormwater treatment ponds, as well as various other improvements to help with traffic congestion and safety concerns. Drivers in the area should expect some more lane closures as our crews finish the last of the work on the curbs, gutters, and sidewalks in the area. The next phase of work on Floresta is expected to start later this summer. It will continue to expand the roadway north from the Elkham Waterway Bridge with similar plans to improve the traffic flow by adding roundabouts, replacing the bridge to accommodate the expanded roadway, and adding additional stormwater improvements. The entire Floresta project is being funded by the half-cent sales tax, so thank you to all of our residents who voted to approve that in 2018. Another heavy traffic area under construction is the southern stretch of Port St. Lucie Boulevard, where 2 projects are taking place simultaneously and utilizing the same contractor. And this is why this part of the city is particularly hard to get around right now. One segment is a city project, while the other is a Florida Department of Transportation project. Once again, we hope you bear with us because in the end, this part of Port St. Lucie Boulevard is needed and will be much improved. The city project is the stretch of road from Gatlin to Darwin. The improvements call for adding additional left turn lanes, converting existing drainage to an underground system, as well as adding multi-use paths, landscaping, lighting, and other enhancements. Drivers in the area should expect lower speed limits and periodic lane closures and traffic shifts until the estimated completion in the winter of 2023. FDOT is in charge of the stretch from Darwin to Alcantara. To accommodate increased traffic, PSL Boulevard is being widened to a 4-lane divided roadway. Crews will install 3 new signalized intersections as well as an additional right turn lane. Lighting, landscaping, median, curb and gutter, drainage, and sidewalk improvements are also included in the project. It's expected to be completed in the summer of 2024. Don't worry, this work will not stop there. There will be additional 2 phases, which will widen PSL Boulevard all the way to Becker Road, and the last 2 phases are expected to follow as the first 2 are completed. While these major road projects are being worked on elsewhere, sidewalk improvements continue to be made throughout the city in accordance with our sidewalk master plan. Construction of a 6-foot wide sidewalk along Rosser Boulevard began in February, with plans calling for it to be done in August. Import Drive is also getting a sidewalk with additional improvements to drainage, utilities, intersections, and signage. It began in March and is expected to finish this fall. A long-awaited sidewalk connection on Bay Shore near Walgreens for pedestrians and cyclists traveling from Canal Point to Port St. Lucie Boulevard is very close to completion right now. On Alcantara, a 6-foot sidewalk will be added to the south side of the road from Port St. Lucie Boulevard to Savona Boulevard. This project should start in June and be completed this fall. Another major FDOT project is the widening of St. Lucie West Boulevard over I-95. In addition to expanding the bridge to accommodate more lanes, on-ramps will be expanded and reconstructed. 7-foot bike lanes and sidewalks on both sides of the roadway are also included in the improvements. To minimize disruptions to traffic, any lane closures will take place overnight between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. During any major bridge work, I-95 may have detours in place, with advance notice to be given. Access to properties will always be maintained, and driveways will not be permanently closed or relocated. The project is expected to be complete by summer of 2023. Another upcoming FDOT project to be aware of is improvements to the I-95 exit at Gatlin Boulevard. The off-ramps at the exit will be widened along with Gatlin Boulevard itself. This project will begin this fall and is anticipated to be completed in the summer of 2024. Detours will be limited and lane closures are expected on Gatlin during off-peak hours only. As you can see, there's a lot happening across the city to help our road network accommodate Port St. Lucie's growth today and in the future. I would ask for your patience and kindness to other drivers as crews work to build a better city for all of us. Thank you. A lot going on, right?
Yeah, it's a lot going on. But you know, it's so funny. It's because of our infrastructure and how it was originated. Everybody is probably very, very familiar with every inch of the road that you talked about. These are roads that we all use
Absolutely.
on a regular basis. So, you know, even if I'm living in the South, I'm using all those Floresta roads as well.
Sure.
So I think that people do understand that. And I hope that they can be kind to one another.
I hope so.
Because I've seen a lot of apprehension in trying to do that. You know, people are getting a little rough out there, but this is needed in order to accommodate our needs as a community.
Absolutely.
So I never stopped talking about or getting frustrated with how GDC laid out our community. The infrastructure was just not enough, incredibly underwhelming. And so we are trying to dig our way out of that. And I think we're doing a really good job. This is great stuff, all needed.
And we're constantly going to have to retrofit the city. It's important to keep letting people know about, especially new people that haven't moved here, have only been here a year or two. Just because this is the way the city was laid out, we're going to keep having to make improvements. They're never going to stop. And there's so many more in the pipeline. It's just, they're just in a plan. All of our plans are active. Nothing sits on the shelf in the city of Port St. Lucie. We make sure that we're addressing everything. But it takes time, it takes a lot of money, and we want to always make sure that we're leveraging all of our resources in order to do that, because we have so much to work on.
So luckily, with new businesses coming in, they're going to offset some of those costs.
Absolutely.
The mobility fee loosens up the things we can use that on. So that'll help a great deal to get this done. But you're right, we're always going to be retrofitting. You know, if you moved here before 2000, you know there was two ways that were two lanes to get north or east and west in the community, and that's just not sufficient for a community of 200 and some thousand people.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So good stuff. I wonder if we have any questions. None?
Just about trash.
Oh, our favorite subject.
So one thing I want to mention, tomorrow night at 5:30, our city manager and team have finalized the negotiations with the new waste hauler. So tomorrow night is our special meeting at 5:30. And so we'll be hearing the update, the recommendation, and having a discussion, and then voting on the new hauler. And so that will be tomorrow night. So everyone to tune in at 5:30, whether you can come to the meeting or watch on TV. It'll be live on Facebook. We want to make sure everyone's informed and engaged. We put out a mailer this past weekend talking about the new service that's going to be upcoming in September. So, and
Things to know, though, it's probably going to go down to once a week for trash.
yeah, so it's going to be once a week with a 96-gallon or a 64-gallon cart. Everyone is slated to get a 96-gallon cart. If you do not want a 96-gallon and you want a smaller cart, or your garage can't fit it, or there's HOA regulations depending on where you live, you can get a 64-gallon cart. That's why the mailer went out to explain. You can call the 1PSL number, or there's a form online that you can request a 64-gallon cart. So we'll have once a week garbage pickup. We'll have once a week recycling pickup, once a week trash. And then our bulk waste program is going to go to once a month on a designated day. And as we continue to move throughout the process and figure out with the new provider what the days are going to be, we're going to be in constant communication with our residents going all throughout the summer and through the transition period as well for the new service, because it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's absolutely gonna take time. We know how bumpy it is now. Transitions are never 100% smooth. So we're all gonna have to continue to be patient and keep working together through this process.
The one thing that never changes is that people hate change.
That is true.
So
That is true.
So it's going to be bumpy, but we're going to get there. Trash will get picked up. So, I hope people aren't spending all of their energy on trash. I mean, it's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I get frustrated, but I can't let it, I don't want it to ruin my day.
It is very frustrating, and I share in that frustration.
Yeah, we all do.
I obviously hear about it every day, all day. So it's like eat, sleeping, and breathing.
Trash.
This, and but I wish we had a lot more control over it than we do. But we are working every single angle, doing everything we possibly can to address the situation. Hence the reason why we had to go out and get proposals in right away and get this happening as soon as possible. There's a lot of questions about, well, why did you have to buy the carts? Well, we needed the lead time. The carts had to be ordered. They're not just sitting somewhere in a field to be picked up. We had to order the carts. It was a 90-day lead time. We had to make sure the carts are here in time for the new hauler. You can't have a new service start and then not have the carts that are necessary to go to the automated side load. So that is why we
Automated
did that.
side load will hopefully make it easier for them to get
Yes.
in, get it out. But like in many, many communities, Fort Pierce being one of them, when you put your trash out, if it's not in your can, it doesn't get picked up.
Yes.
I think that is going to be very difficult for people to get used to. But that is probably one of the things that we have to drive home. It's going to come once a week, and if it's not in the can, it doesn't get picked up.
Right. But once things get started, and if you realize that you need another can, those cans will be available for purchase, absolutely. So you can have a second can, and it can still get picked up.
And you're automatically getting the larger one unless you opt in
Correct.
for the smaller one.
Correct.
So if you're watching at home, you are automatically getting that big old can.
Yes.
Unless you take and make the effort to tell them, no, I want the smaller version.
Right.
Yeah. By June 10th.
June 10th, yes.
Whoosh, we're running out of time. And I haven't decided, so I better get on that because I have not decided. I kind of want the bigger can, but like many people, I think I'm going to have a hard time fitting it in my garage in the place that I have it now. So if you're watching the show, run out, check it out, figure it out, and then get your request in. But if you want the big one, you don't have to do anything.
And if anyone wants to see the size of them, we have them right here on display in City Hall.
There's some videos online.
There's videos online, absolutely. And like I said, we're going to keep up that communication process through the entire summer and into the transition phase as well.
Yeah. And just so you know, you're not getting your trash picked up any more frequently than anybody else in the world.
Me? No, absolutely not. My trash sits out there just like everyone else's.
Yeah.
And when requests come in, we are putting those requests in. We understand that they're 2 and 3 days behind. We're trying to push as hard as we can to.
We've decided that we're already at once a week. We've just, in our household, our trash is getting picked up once a week.
Right.
And it's one of the 2 regular days. That's all I know.
Yeah.
It's a guessing game. Yeah. Anybody else have questions? No questions in the audience? Wow, this was, okay. So online, she said they were all about trash, so we don't have any
I
online.
expected that, yeah.
Yeah, typically. Yep. I get trash questions too, oddly enough, everywhere I go. What do you know about trash?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the number one question.
It is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Spend a lot of time answering those questions, absolutely. But
Yeah.
that's what we need to do.
Anything else before we go today?
No, I think
You got everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Very good, very good. Well, I want to thank everybody for being with us today and at Your Service Catering for providing our coffee and Danish. Marianne does a great job for us every month. Of course, Mid-Florida Credit Union. They've been so good to the city, not just me, but the city in general for a very, very long time, and we're very thankful for them and all the staff here and my staff. So, and of course, the mayor for spending this time with us every single month. We appreciate it. 3rd Tuesday, come on down. We'll give you some coffee in Danish. It's delicious. And you can hang out here in the chambers with us. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Great day.